Hello everyone, and welcome to Correlative Conjunctions. I've just done two videos on conjunctions. One was on coordinating conjunctions and another was on subordinating conjunctions. But in this video, I'll be talking about correlative conjunctions. So what do correlative conjunctions do? Well, like the other conjunctions I've talked about in my other videos, they are basically connectors, and they join different words or groups of words together in a sentence. But unlike the other conjunctions, correlative conjunctions come in pairs, and you almost always have to use both of them in different places in a sentence to make them work. Let's take a look at some of the most common ones. The first one we're going to look at is both and. Okay, and in the example, her new job offers both a high salary and many benefits. So in this case, both and are showing a connection between two good things about her job, right? A high salary and many benefits. And you can also notice that they're separated in the sentence. Okay, that's the way they usually are. There are different cases where they might be together, but most of the time they're separated. Okay? The next one we'll look at is either and or. And in our example, you can either walk or take the bus to school today. Now, in this case, we are getting an option between two things, right? We can either walk or take the bus. And either and or, this is very commonly used in American English. Okay? In our next example, we have neither and nor, which is actually the opposite of either and or. Right? Instead of giving you two options with either and or, with neither and nor, we reject those options. Like in the sentence, neither my sister nor my brother wants to wash the dishes tonight. So both people are rejecting, right, this option of washing the dishes. All right, and a quick grammar note too is with subject-verb agreement, which is very confusing. When we are using correlative conjunction and we have two subjects, right? In this case, we have my sister and my brother, right? The way it works is the second subject is what you use to determine your verb form. All right, so in this case, it's my brother, and my brother is singular, so the verb form should reflect that. That also should be singular. If it were my brothers, then this sentence should be neither my sister nor my brothers want to wash the dishes tonight. Okay, you got that? Because some people might think that you have, well, my brother and my sister, they, right? So the verb should be want. But that's not how it works with correlative conjunctions. All right? Got it? The next one we're going to look at is whether and or. And in our example, we will play soccer tonight, whether it rains or not. And this is usually used to indicate a possibility of something. All right? And in this case, we're talking about the possibilities of playing soccer, and the person's going to play whether it rains or not. Okay? And whether or not, it's used a lot in English. Okay? The next one we're going to look at is rather and then. In our example, Sharon would rather drive her car to work than take the subway. Here, we're using it to indicate something in place of something or instead of something, right? So she would rather drive her car instead of taking the subway to work. Got it? Next, we have not only and but also. All right, and I have also in parentheses because sometimes we don't use it. In our example, eating organic food will not only make you feel better, but also make you healthy. And we're using this to imply that something in addition to something else, right? So we're talking about two things here, right? About organic food. Not only, right, it'll make you feel better, but also make you healthy. Okay? It's just like adding another thing on. All right? Next, we have no sooner and then. And in our example, you no sooner buy a smartphone than they bring out a new one which supersedes it. In this case, we're using this to show two events happening in order, right? We have no sooner, which gives us a time. Okay, and then we say, you no sooner buy a smartphone, right? Then, that's the next thing that happens. They bring out a new one, which supersedes it, or it makes the phone that you bought obsolete. So basically, it shows the order of two events. Got it? The final one we'll look at is such and that. All right, and in our example, Sean was such a good mechanic that he had no trouble finding a good job. And here we're using it to show a consequence, right? So what are we saying here? Well, we're saying, well, he's such a good mechanic, right? Because he was a good mechanic, right? The result was that it was easy for him to find a good job. All right, so it's a consequence. That's really what this is used for. Got it? Okay, that's all for this video. I hope you learned something here. I'm going to have a little test in my next video on correlative conjunctions. And thanks again for subscribing. And remember what I always say, keep practicing. See you next time.